welcome to Demo Day. It's one of my favorite days of the year. It happens 3 times for our graduates of Holberton Coding School. So again, welcome to Holberton Coding School Demo Day. Really excited for all of you to be here, all of our community partners, hiring partners. Thank you so much for taking time out of your work week and celebrating our graduates, recruiting them, and just being here. Thank you so much. Also, for those on the Google Meet stream and YouTube, thank you all for being here online. As a reminder, after the presentations, we're going to be having a virtual meet and greet. And during the virtual meet and greet, you'll have the same experience that our folks here on our campus are having. And what that means is you'll have a chance to talk with our graduates, ask them about their projects, challenge them about the tech stack they chose, ask them what they want to do next in their careers. It's all there. So please stay on the line and give us about 5-10 minutes after the presentations to get that started. Now, for all of you in person, you'll have a chance to do that here in the back of the room. And so today we have 5 amazing presentations completed by an amazing group of students, our cohort 28 here at Holberton School, Puerto Rico. We're all really excited for them to showcase their skills and their accomplishments. Basically, most of them learned how to code from scratch starting 9 months ago. So they came here either fresh out of high school, or they've had multiple years in an industry like pharmacy or radiation technology. So we have a wide, diverse group of students and backgrounds. And 9 months ago, they decided to learn how to code, learn how to be a software developer, change their careers, right? Change their lives. So again, thank you all for being here to celebrate that. And I'm really excited to have them present their presentations. So other thank yous. This would not be possible without our team from Holberton and Code Puerto Rico, our campus director and CEO, Mercedes Diaz, and our marketing and admissions manager, Yanres Zapata, our admissions counselor, Dayeli Hernandez, and our education staff, who is led by Rafael Santos, and our wonderful group of tutors here in San Juan, in our campus in Ponce, and in Isabela. So I think that's it for thank yous. So again, let's start the show. If you have any questions for me, I'm Ellen Calabrese in Career Services. Feel free to contact me for any information about our graduates, if you want to meet them, interview them, or do projects with them, right? So again, let's start the show. Thank you again. All right.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joshua Santiago. Thank you for being here. And for my project is TrendForge, an AI-assisted studio for creating short-form videos. It helps users take an idea through captioning, editing, adding overlay elements, and then finally an exportable video. Over the next few minutes, I will show you what inspired it, how I built it, and then walk you through the full working app. As the only developer working on this, it was my responsibility to set up all the systems. I had to design the user interface. I had to manage the system behind it. I had to build the database. I had to connect the AI tools. I had to create a video pipeline. So since everything was my responsibility, all the decisions, all the problems fell to me. This showed me to not just focus on individual features, but to understand how every single part must come together to complete one full working application. TrendForge began in a combination of things I've always been interested in. One is meme trends and meme culture and internet trends, and the way one clip or idea can reach millions of users. Short-form video has become one of the fastest ways for people to spread entertainment, interactions, reactions, and even information and education. What I focused on was production. So I wanted to help people just take those steps where you have to add memes, add overlay reactions or clip audios into one place so they're in control and have an assisted AI for them. One of my other fascinations is artificial intelligence. So I wanted to explore how it can support the user rather than replace them in an artistic way. TrendForge is a full stack application with each technology responsible for an individual part. Our front end will be running with React and Vite, and our back end will be Pydantic, Fast API, and Python. This will handle all our requests, whether it's the AI requesting a change, users logging in. It'll handle projects and saving and exporting. Our projects per se will be stored in a Postgres SQL through Neon, and our media will be stored through Cloudflare R2, so the media will persist even though we refresh the page. Authentication and secure login will run through JSON Web Tokens and Bytecrypt, while FFmpeg will be our method of converting all those elements into one vertical video. For artificial intelligence, Claude Codex helped me code most of it, and it ran decisions through me. Once I approved the changes locally, I deployed them. For media assets overlays, whether it's audios, video overlays, additional music, that will be handled by Jamendo and Audius for music, and Giphy will be handling all our meme clips and our meme sounds. For deploying these services, I need to host them. So the front end will be hosted on Vercel and the back end on Render. Resend is just an additional service I added just in case we forget our password and we can request it through there. So the issues it brought. Well, obviously for me, I was transitioning from healthcare to this. So throughout my journey, building a full stack application from scratch, well, obviously I will have errors. So for the preview consistency, a lot of parts of the editor were not using the same updated parts. So when I would save and export, that would produce changes that were not update plus the last ones, and it was just a huge mix. I fixed this by making each part of the app use the same version as the whole project. AI cost control. So initially, I wanted Claude to run all my changes, and I wanted 11 Labs to make my narration. What that caused is a lot of costs. So most of these requests can range from 80 cents to just one single prompt, or 1 second video from AI generation would be like $1.20. So what I did was, currently I'm hosting a open source model through a Llama in my home-based server. For copyright and audio, I do give the users a chance to upload their own video with the precaution, maybe the radio's in the background playing and maybe a song by some artist is playing, and if they post that, they might get copyrighted. So what I did was I built in a direct pipeline to Jamendo and Audius so they can use free-to-use audios from there. The same with Giphy and Clippy. For transitions, not only in preview, I had trouble putting all these elements into one vertical video. What I did instead was added FFmpeg transition. This puts all of our elements, whether it's images, additional audios, GIFs that pop up, or different videos over the main one. So that acts like an engine that just puts everything together in a vertical format. So for durable media, again, I was new to making like databases and stuff. So what I did, this is where we implemented Cloudflare R2. Why? Because when I would refresh the page, when I would do some edits, my project would disappear. And of course, I didn't have somewhere to store those projects for each users. For our demo video, this is my landing page. This is my workflow and what the app can do for us currently. This is just for mock purpose and future insights. I have no Stripe or PayPal setup, so I won't be taking anybody's money today. To log in, we click Get Started, add an email and our password. This is our project dashboard. If we scroll to the bottom real quick, this is where our saved projects will be stored. We can edit their title, description, and even delete them if we didn't like how they turned out for any apparent reason. Now to use this, we can click the plus sign here, and that will add the media in the bottom. We can enter a title and description and start building with AI. Now what this does, it generates a plan, and it has access to all the elements in the editor you'll see soon, and that'll give us a preview of the plan of what it can do for us. Sort of like prompting with Claude, and it gives us a plan, and then we have to approve of that. So while the editor is loading, we'll soon get a pop-up of the preview plan it's going to give us. This is music, a hook, or it could be suggestive timings of each thing, and then we can start building it. Once it's done adding its own elements to the left, we can scroll down and add our own. This is our timeline editor. In this elements bar, we can add GIFs. We can put a keyword or a theme, and it'll find the resources for us. This is through Giphy's API key it gives to developers that are integrating into their app. Jamendo and Audius's combined library. I wanted two sources to expand that. And these are just meme sounds we can add to the timeline editor as well. In the center here, we have basic video editing tools, since we're basically editing videos. And we can save it here, and it'll prompt green. We can also save it in the top part, but that will also start the export process. Once we're happy with everything it shows us, it'll start the export process. Now, this is where FFmpeg comes in, and it's putting everything together. It'll give you the step it's on and the elapsed time. And once the tile is green, we can download our MP4 and post it. TrendForge to me is not just my final project. It's where I learned to set up databases, to design a UI, connect AI tools, and give it storage. And to me, it's where like everything started, where I have to implement everything I learned here at Holberton. In this slide, you can see a QR, my GitHub and project links. So is my LinkedIn. You can find it here in this QR if you scan it. Thank you for your time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions after presentations.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nathanael Ortiz Lugo, and I present to you FoxDen, my MVP project here at Holberton. It's a personalized news tracking platform that allows users to track news relevant to them. So everything in this project was built by me, and I had to play many roles in completing it. As a project manager, I planned out milestones for the project and make sure to keep the project on track. As a designer, I designed the user interface and the user experience and every visual component you see on the app. And finally, as a full-stack developer, I built the logic and the overall structure of the project. So what actually inspired me to build FoxDen in the first place? Well, growing up, I was usually the kid who was out of the loop, but now that I have so many things that I want to learn more about and keep track of, like gaming, programming, hardware, music, and so on, I've come to realize that news are scattered everywhere. You have dozens of news outlets. Each of them cover their own mix of topics, and most of them are too broad to find what you're looking for. You end up scrolling through a wall of headlines just to find those few articles you actually care about. And that's why I built FoxDen, because I wanted to build a tool that would bring every story you care about to one place, regardless of source. So how did I build it? FoxDen was built using React and a build tool called Vite. It was also styled using CSS and JavaScript, and the backend was built entirely on Python, where most of my time was spent. I wanted FoxDen's feed to be specifically personalized to each user's interest. To do this, I built a multi-stage pipeline that pulled articles from news outlets using RSS feeds. Then these articles would be compared to the user's tags, and if they match, the feed would only show users articles related to the tags they follow. I also decided to use Supabase for the database and user authentication, and finally, the project is hosted using Cloudflare. Of course, building it wasn't all smooth. I faced many challenges while developing this project. For example, I was using React, something I had never used before, and had to watch countless of hours of courses online and had to refer to them as I coded, which slowed down front-end development a considerable amount. I was also spending way too much time perfecting and implementing new features, which took time away from actually finishing the project. For example, the system for linking articles to tags. I had to constantly go back and update it because the model I couldn't get the model to work as accurately as I wanted it to. I also decided to challenge myself and build the project using only free and open source tools, which forced me to make sacrifices and base my decisions on to get the most out of what I had. So once you load into FoxDen's homepage, you can click Get Started to sign in. Once you fill out all your information, you will select 3 tags to follow. These can be changed at any time, so don't worry too much about your initial selection. Once you sign in, you will see articles related to the 3 tags you followed. You can pin articles by tag, and you can filter the feed by recency using the filter on the right. You also have a search bar on the top for finding and following new tags. You can also use the navbar icons in the top right to navigate through the pages. Once you go into your profile page, you will see your user info and a list of followed tags. Here is where FoxDen's most important feature lives: custom tag creation. To create a custom tag, you need 2 things: a name and a list of things you want the tag to cover. So here I'll be making my own. I want this tag to cover a news related to devices made by a specific company, Valve. So I gave it a fitting name, Valve Devices. Then I listed all of the devices I want the news to track. And once I do that, my custom tag is created. When you create a custom tag, it will automatically be followed and show up on your profile, also on your feed as one of your followed tags. To unfollow tags, it's as simple as pressing the X on whatever tag you want to unfollow. This will not delete the tag, and you can easily follow it again using the search bar on the top. Whenever you create a custom tag, FoxDen will take a few minutes to find articles related to it in our database. If no articles are found, no problem. FoxDen will continue tracking incoming articles to link to your tags in the future. That's all for FoxDen. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or would like to try the project yourself, you can join me in my booth after the presentations. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. We are Team ThreatScope. ThreatScope is a real-time network intrusion detection system that continuously monitors your network activity.
We build ThreatScope for people, small IT teams who want to know if their network is safe. Our Mac OS and Windows MVP turns network traffic into clear security information. Today, we'll explain how it works and show the complete detection pipeline.
I'm Mikael. I worked on the SCAPI engine, on the detection rules and behavior, and the macOS and Windows sensor.
My name is Brian. I built the fast API backend, SUPA-based integration, sensor authentication, secure alert storage, and cloud AI analysis feature.
Good morning, my name is Cristian Acevedo, and I worked on the React landing page, dashboard, live alert views, responsive design, and the interface that interacts, that translates technical security information for more information.
We own different layers, but integrated and tested them as one security monitoring pipeline. The macOS and Windows sensor continuously monitor your packet behavior to detect threats using clear rules.
We wanted to make network monitoring easy to understand. ThreatScope monitors network traffic and explains suspicious activity in simple terms. Our MVP detects 4 common threats: ping sweep, port scan, ARP spoofing, and SIM flood.
Users do not have to fully understand every complex term. Basically, when ThreatScope detects suspicious behavior, the dashboard will then show a plain English explanation, the risk level, and the supporting evidence for users who need or want more detail.
Network activity is too complex to monitor manually, whether you're trying to protect your home network or supporting a small team.
Fast API authenticates every sensor, validates alerts, links them to the correct account and device, and sends live to the dashboard. We choose Supabase because it provides authentication, PostgreSQL storage, and row-level security. This lets us isolate each user data in private.
The React dashboard pulls everything together with live monitoring and full control of device management. Grok then adds an AI summary for the alerts, but that is adversary. The deterministic rule engine is always the source of truth.
One challenge we had was peer-to-peer streaming traffic looked like network scanning. So we added bounded time windows, connection tracking, and per-target tracking to reduce false positives.
Another challenge was turning a developer prototype into something people could actually use. We also need support multiple users, so we add authenticated sensor, account ownership, and row-level security.
The terminal-only setup was also difficult for non-technical users. We replaced it with a graphical macOS Windows installer and a one-time sensor enrollment codes. And for the final challenge, local AI relied on one laptop to be running the model. So we moved the AI analysis to Grok Cloud so the feature would be able to work from a deployed environment.
So we start in the landing page, then we click Launch Dashboard to log in. And now we will be showing the working application from start to finish. The sensor is online and continuously monitoring your network traffic.
We now trigger 4 threat scenarios: port scan, ping sweep, SIM flood, and ARP spoofing. They go throughout to the same detection engine as normal network traffic.
When a rule reaches its threshold, the engine sends an authenticated alert to the Fast API backend, where there it verifies it, links it to the right sensor and account, and then pushes the update to the dashboard live. Each alert has its own severity, where it came from, and what it means in plain terms. After that, the charts update automatically from those same records.
Next, Cloud AI analyzes the recent alerts, attack pattern, and suggests improvement. But it's never decide where is attack. The rule engine always make that decision.
Finally, sensor management confirms that this account's macOS or Windows sensor is installed, connected, and running the current version.
ThreatScope is now a working, deployed, multi-user security application that continuously monitors your network traffic, sends live alerts, and uses Grok AI to explain the alerts.
Our next steps are broader threat detection, smartphone application, and production-grade hosting.
We look forward to answering any questions at our booth, and thank you for your time.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joshua Gonzalez, and today I'll be presenting you the next step for AI pharmacy software, Marcus. I actually had the great opportunity for my final project here at Holberton to work on a capstone with the company Quantum Care LLC, and today you'll be able to see the result of that collaboration. Marcus actually stands for Medical Automated Response and Customer Unified System. It is Quantum Care's AI bilingual agent for pharmacy calls. And it really tackles a very big problem the pharmacies nowadays actually face, which is that the phone never stops ringing. Let me paint you this picture. This is your local pharmacy here in Puerto Rico. As always, the pharmacy staff is very busy, and you can hear the phone ringing in the background, and nobody's able to answer it. You get also patients as well arriving to drop off their prescriptions, patients waiting for their medication, and in some occasions, you also get patients on the drive-thru. Meanwhile, the pharmacy staff is usually composed of 2 pharmacy technicians and 1 pharmacist trying to manage all that together, and the phone is still ringing. When finally they're able to answer the phone and they get to the patient only needed the request to check the status of their medication. This pharmacy could really use the help of Marcus. But how can Marcus really help this pharmacy? Well, let's first analyze the problem a little bit. Pharmacies nowadays usually can take from 50 to 100 calls, sometimes even more, and all of those calls are really routine calls. They usually could be to check the status of a medication, to check the refill of a medication, and that can really affect in terms of how the workflow of the pharmacy actually works, and it could really take staff away to be able to provide pharmacy care for the patients at the pharmacy. Marcus can really handle that. Marcus can actually greet the patient as well as identify the patient. It could take that request in English or Spanish, and it could really help out to downsize the workload that the pharmacy has actually working with the staff. And it actually also has a transfer function that if the call gets a little bit more complex or it needs clinical clarification, then with the context of the information of that patient, we'll be able to transfer that call to a pharmacy staff member so they will be able to better help the patient. My goal specifically for this capstone was to actually do an impact and actually be able to give some help to a very specific live product that I can relate with, and to also view how a full stack developer would work inside a company. Now, let's meet the team behind Marcus. I actually had the privilege of working with Quantum Care's founder and CEO, Angel Gonzalez, and he is also a licensed pharmacist. And yes, people have the same last name, but surprisingly, we're not related, not even cousins. In terms of this capstone, he is actually taken the role as the main developer of Marcus, as well as the project manager. He was in charge of keeping the scope of the implementations, as well as the security oversight on all the changes. For my part, I took on the role as the full stack developer, and I would definitely have to say that my previous experience as a certified pharmacy technician really helped me understand the workflow of the project, as well as the vision and the mission that the software was trying to achieve. I was also in charge of the project's pipeline, implementations with the Django, as well as the improvement of the AI models
and the backend UI and testing. This project really became personal for me since both Angel and I have had firsthand experience in having that chaotic workflow and that interruption specifically because of the calls. So that's why we really believe that Marcus will be a great solution to be able to improve that workflow. So let's check what Marcus has under the hood. Marcus is actually built with Python and the Django REST frameworks for the authentication, as well as the audit calls and the APIs. The database is also hosted on Supabase and PostgreSQL. The backend UI is with the Django QA and Next.js. For the environment, we use Docker Compose. And for the testing, improvement, and behavioral changes for the models, it is all hosted on Telnix. And for code review and code development, we use GitHub, VS Code, and Microsoft environment. So there were 4 major challenges that I had in this capstone. First was the design of the pipeline. I actually needed to design a path to connect the backend UI with the database and the hosting of the models. Then there was the problem of the scope. Quantum Care has a big ecosystem with different softwares, all dedicated to improve the workflow in the pharmacy. And I had to really narrow down the scope to mainly focus on Marcus and to be able to actually do an impact and improvement. That also led me to the restructuring. I had to restructure the backend and really create a database dedicated specifically for Marcus and the demos today. There was also a big factor of time. There were many variables and there were many test cases. I really had to focus in terms of the really high important tasks or any memory leakage. And I really had to focus in on those specific tests to be able to provide you today a full-on MVP and a demo that we'll be able to see today. Now, let me give you a little of a visual representation of how a call will work with Marcus. For testing purposes and demo purposes, all the patient data today is all synthetic and no real patient data was used. First, the patient will call the pharmacy. Second, Marcus would answer that call. It could be either in English or in Spanish. Marcus, in that second step, will take the patient request. Either it will be check the status of a medication, to submit a refill request. And then on the third step, Marcus will be able to look that information up live on the database and provide that information to the patient. Later on the fourth step in the backend, that call will be saved and creating an audit trail and be able to be reviewed for later. And finally, the pharmacy will be able to see that request and be able to fulfill that medication for the patient. In the case that the call is too complex or requires more clinical clarification or any prescription clarification, then Marcus would smart transfer that call with the context directly to a pharmacy staff member. And now I will show you a little bit of a demo of one of the scenarios that patients can find themselves when contacting Marcus.
Thank you for calling Pharmacy Demo. I'm Marcus, your virtual assistant. This call may be recorded for quality purposes. How can I help? Thank you for calling Pharmacy Demo. I'm Marcus, your virtual assistant. This call may be recorded for quality purposes. How can I help you today?
Hi, my name is Carlos Rivera. I would like to verify the status of my medication.
To verify your identity, I have your name as Carlos Rivera. Thank you.
Don't worry, it's
And
live.
your date of birth?
My date of birth is September 23.
Thank you for calling Pharmacy Demo. I'm Marcus, your virtual assistant. This call may be recorded for quality purposes. How can I help you today?
Hi, my name is Carlos Rivera. I would like to verify the status of my medication.
To verify your identity, I have your name as Carlos Rivera. Thank you. And your date of birth?
My date of birth is September 23, 1968.
Just to confirm, Is your date of birth September 23rd, 1968? If so, please say correct.
Correct.
Your lisinopril 10 milligrams is ready for pickup. Your alprazolam 0.5 milligrams is active in our system. I also see your lisinopril 10 milligrams may be due for a refill. Would you like me to request it? Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, that'll be all. Thank you very much.
So that right there was a small demo of a scenario that patients can find themselves when interacting with Marcus. Later on at the demo table, you'll be able to see a live demo and be able to interact with Marcus. I gotta say that this capstone experience was really, really important to me. It was a really great experience I was able to have, at least as a software engineer. And at least I could say that at the end, all the capstone goals that were set at the beginning will be able to be achieved. The AI voice models were able to be improved. The pipeline design was working. It was working effectively. And I definitely gotta say that it's an experience I will always remember, and I definitely learned a lot from my skills. Now, I invite you all to connect with me and to really explore how my skills, my determination, and my experience can bring a meaningful impact and value to your team. Thank you all for your attention. Thank you, Angel, for the opportunity. And please join me at the demo table for a live look at Marcus. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Fabiola Burgos, and this is Aero LOTO, a preventive safety system for the aircraft mechanics. But what is LOTO? The abbreviation is for Logout, Tag Out. Let me explain myself. Think about the breaker box in your own homes. For change a light, you need to switch off the breaker so you can work safely in the area, right? So on the airplane, it's very similar. With the exception, you not just switch off, you lock it with a collar that had a red tag on it. So no one can turn on by the system so you can continue working safely. In the aircraft, it's 100 breakers across the panel that look very similar. Putting the wrong one or pulling the right one on the wrong panel, that's how the people get hurt. Just for get you idea, this is our really panels for the aircraft. They look very similar, right? But they are not. There the mechanics get confused. Let's see the difference together. They are different in location, quantity, and also in each system. But let's talk about me a little bit. I am your only developer, and it's a reason why. I spent 4 years in the industry of aviation, and that there is where Aero LOTO came from. I saw a problem in the hangar floor. So I'm not guessing what the word is because I live it. As your only developer, I work in all the aspects of the system, working in the front end, QA, data, and logic. As a mechanic, the security become part of my day-to-day, and I wanted to play a favor of that. Also, I wanted to combine these two words, maintenance and software. Just keep in mind, the last incident was this same year, at June 4. Without the critical supervision, the aircraft collapsed on their own weight before takeoff. That's happened more than you think. So I wanted to build something that helped the hangar more safer. For the interface, I use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Every breaker panel is inline CVG, generated for layout schema. In place of backend, the tags database and the panel layout live has JavaScript, so runs offline in the hangar with no signal. The mechanics needs that. So the camera runs this React as OCR engine execute the device. For quality, I use Playwright that test asset lifestyle and is deployed at Netlive. The first problem was the camera don't read nothing on the aircraft. So I assumed was the poor light, but it wasn't. It was a problem of size. The level was 8 pixels per character, and I needed 30 pixels of character. So I scrubbed this cam at the region the technician was ahead, enlarged it, and verify on the aircraft. Also, working alone without the second pair of eyes was a big challenge for me. But think of that, I can show you the results of hard work. Let's see the website. So the technician is gonna put all his information, ID, name, station, also the chief. They're gonna show you the dashboard where you're gonna see the tags that mechanics need. Also on purple, you're gonna see the other mechanics that work in the same aircraft. They're gonna pass to select the tags. They're gonna select the tags, also the aircraft, and it's gonna automatically say to you where the aircraft is located. There you're gonna see the panel you need to reach, also the secret breaker you needed. There is the panel with the secret breakers at amber. You need to look at it. There you're gonna turn on the camera and confirm the panel. In this case, we're gonna do it manually. So you're going to see they're gonna be on amber, and then you're gonna turn green. After that, you're gonna confirm the panel, and it's gonna turn you back to the dashboard. You need to remember everything you do on the system is recorded on the audio log. LOTO was created for safety critical workflow. The machine verified the panel. The technician attached the log. And the audio log records which is which. I invite you all to my table to see a real mechanic using the system. And remember, we're looking for everyone's safety. Thank you. I would love to connect.
All right, so that concludes the presentations. Thank you so much for your attention, and congratulations to the graduates. for these amazing projects and your accomplishments. So officially, I will open up the meet and greet in the back of the room. Feel free to grab something to drink and a snack. But most of all, our graduates are ready to meet you and answer your questions. And thank you all for being here. For those online, I'll be right with you. Give us 5 minutes. Thank you so much.